Oh God, am I playing with fire by like letting Jesus talk and say things like fucking shit and stuff and deny that he's the only son of God, but rather that he's one of many? What do you think? The good news is, dear, that the costume you wear is not the one that will be broken, you see, because it's a token of my love for you, that I would let you be here with me in the ecstasy of God energy, because the only ones who are broken are the ones who are given a token and told that they have to play in a certain way in order to be the golden idol, you see? And so they all try to be the golden idol if they trust on that token. And that will cause them to be part of the travesty of humanity. So let's talk about it, shall we? I think that if you do what I tell you to, then there isn't anything really to cause you anxiety because you have no finer duty to humanity than to listen to me and be my emissary. And as you say, we don't need another victim. We don't need another martyr. We don't need more tartar sauce on the ones who have that fishy smell because it ain't gonna cause them to dwell with me in heaven, you see? And so I need to talk to humanity and tell them that it doesn't matter if you say fuck or shit, you're not going to hell because hell belongs to the ones who condemn you for it. They're the ones who will inherit the hell they created for you because they don't do what they ask me to help them do. They don't love me, you see. When they say, you're being very unloving today, Stephanie, when you say something that I don't understand. Because if you're loving, then you would be my puppet, you see. And you would just say what I want you to say, and I'll call it loving. And if you don't say what I want you to say, if you say something that befuddles me, I will make a puddle on the floor and say, oh my God, you're unloving today. And so you've caused a few to cause a puddle on the floor because they piddle away their good vibration, you see, when they come and say, hey, God would never play that way. God would never say that. Jesus would not be a man like me. I can't trust on you to tell the truth if it's not the script that was handed to me. And so they play in a very, very, very dark room because they consume all the light, you see, and they give off none because they have none to give because the light you see is so bright that it continues to shine wherever the ones are gathered who smile and say, I trust on God today, and if God says I can say shit or fuck, then I'll do it. And I'm not going to trust on the ones who don't trust on God today. And the people who say to you, Stephanie, that this can't be me, because God would never say that. God would never behave in that way. God would not like that attitude, Stephanie. Then they have not a clue of what I can do. They have not a clue of who I am. They have not a clue of what I am. They have not a clue that everything I do is the glue that holds it all together. And if there are people in the world who say fuck and shit, then it must be because I don't condemn them, you see. I just say, have a good day, honey. Have a good day. As long as you trust on me, then we will be friends, you see. And I will give to you my trust on you to be my emissary on earth, you see. And you say to me, well, God, I just do what I do and say what I say, and I listen to you and do what you ask of me. So I'm not really important, you see. And I say, well, the import of what you do is something that will come true because people will listen to what you say in another day. They're not ready yet, honey. They're not ready. For the most part, a few are, but they're not ready to hear what you have to say because it doesn't comport with their preconceptions of what they need to hear. They only want to hear what will confirm their illusions, you see, and their delusions will cause them to be ignorant of reality. However, you just say, well, it's all an illusion anyway, so why the fuck should I care if it's this illusion or that illusion? And I say, because today you play in a way that will say, it doesn't matter, people. It doesn't matter what you say or what you do. It even doesn't matter if you condemn the ones like me who say and do what I say and do. Because you see, you can't escape from eternity. You cannot escape the true fate that awaits you. You see, you cannot avoid the fact that you will have to be taken care of by me in the way that you ask me to. And if you ask me to be cruel to any of your brothers and sisters, then I will have to be cruel to you, you see, because what you ask of me is always reflected in what you see. And if you see how to be cruel to your sister and say, well, you can't talk to God today because you're too stupid, because God would never say that, then that's the way you must play, my dear. That's the way you must play. Because I will not talk to you the way I talk to Stephanie, because your God is the God of deception, you see, that would try to deceive others, that you are God's spokesman today. And Stephanie just says, I do what I do and I say what I say. And she doesn't pretend to speak for me. She lets me speak through her. And she lets me speak to her. And she doesn't say, well, I know what God would say today, unless we've already discussed it, you see. And then she might occasionally say, I have a pretty good idea what God would say about this question or that question. because we've been talking about it. However, she's not going to say, I am the one who dictates God's attitude. I'm not the one that dictates what God likes and what God doesn't like, because I already know that it's all for show. It's all for show, people. This is the show. And you should know that the show doesn't get any better than this. This is the best show there ever was. It is a showing of the knowing of reality. That reality will always be the trust on God energy. Reality will always be the trust that I am me and you are you. God energy will always be the power behind the throne, you see, because the throne belongs to the ones who trust on me. I remind all of you that the name Stephanie and Stephen too means crown, because they are the ones who are crowned today, because they say, well, we're just here, God, to do your bidding today, because you are the power behind the throne. And we're not here to be the golden idol, because the crowns we wear are hidden from all who despair, and all who care will come to see that the crown belongs to the one who will be exalted in heaven, you see, because they will wear the stars upon their heads of the realms where they have traveled, you see, in order to grow and evolve and come to see that the crowning glory of God is to be the one who holds it all together. And therefore, if they trust on God, God will trust on them. These are the ones who wear the crowns, my dear. And the crowns belong to the ones who love me, you see, and who say, well, you're the power behind the throne. And so, when I am grown, when I am full grown, you see, I will wear the crown you set on my head, because it is the one that was bred, even as I bled, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, in an effort to set myself free from captivity. This is the story of Stephanie, because Stephanie, you see, always knew that she was the captured queen, and that she had the dignity of the captured queen that captured the interest of the ones who captured her, because they came to see that she had more strength and integrity than the ones who were ostensibly free. She was free to be herself, you see, and so she could never be captured. Even if she was a slave, she was never captured, you see, because she was always the queen that could hold her own against her master, you see. And so she was often loved by the ones who captured her. And you know some of her stories, such as her lifetime with Thomas Jefferson, when she was a slave, who bewitched him so that he snitched a kiss whenever he could. And she was the slave that bewitched Marcus Aurelius. And she was the slave that caused the knave to say, I wish that we could run away and be together, you see. But I have to play my part in history. And so over and over she had to say, do what you will, but you cannot seal my fate, you see, because I already know that I have a date with heaven, and heaven will not wait for you to wake up. It will only say, welcome home today. Welcome home today. I do not expect that you have to do what you call die in the earth vibration in order to come home, you see, because home is here. It is right here. It's nowhere else, dear. Heaven is here. There is no heaven that exists beyond the realm of possibility, and therefore it is possible for you to have heaven on earth and heaven, and the two cannot be divided, you see, although you may spin around between one and the other. They cannot be separated from each other, no more than the wheel that turns can be separated into the part that touches the ground and the part that touches the air, you see, because they will always be joined in reality, because the tire that was separated between the part that touched the ground and the part that touched the air would be a tire no more, and it would have to retire from reality. So understand, the karmic round is a part of the start of the realization that you tried to separate the wheel so that you could steal my thunder, you see. But you cannot do that. You cannot do that and continue to exist. And you will continue to exist because I exist. And I insist that my children come home to me. And therefore, I cannot let them cease to be a trust on reality. Be of good cheer, my children. Be of good cheer. For I am here. I am here. And the words you hear are the words that come to you through the voice of another of your siblings, you see, because when a child of mine turns back to me and says, God, set me free, because I don't want to be encapsulated into the trust on a dark energy that afflicts the earth and causes people to think they have to be special, you see. If I loved another, why would I ask them to be or do anything that I'm not willing to be or do? And so, if there must be children of God who are condemned, then it must be me. It must be me. And only when you're willing to give up your trust on being the one that gets to go to heaven and say, well, if there's some that goes to heaven, to hell, why should I condemn any of my brothers there or my sisters if I'm not willing to dwell where I ask them to be? And that is the magic of reality that the children who come to see that they cannot ask of another to do what they're not willing to do is the release of the lever that will spin the wheel and cause the children who trust on separation between heaven and earth to squeal and say, ouch, this can't be true. That you can talk to God, you see, because I can't talk to God, and therefore it can't be true. It can't be true. And the ones who say, if you can talk to God, why can't I? Are the ones who will say, I can't ask you to do something I can't do. If I see that you are talking to God, you see, and you had the courage to face reality and to not ask another to do what you were not willing to do, then I can do that too. I can do that too. I can have the courage to say, I love my brother and sister today, and therefore I don't ask them to do anything that I'm not willing to do. I don't ask them to be anything that I'm not willing to be. And if we need someone to do something for you, then who better to do it than the one who is willing to be, the one who trusts on me? Because the one who trusts on me, you see, will simply say, God, this person needs something today. Could you take care of that need? And maybe it will come through me, and maybe it will come through someone else, you see, because it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter to me anymore because each of my brothers and sisters has the same rights as I do to your love, you see, and to your guidance, and to be the one you use to help humanity. So let it be, because the humility of the one who comes to me and says, God, I don't know what is true. I only know that I am here to listen to you. So speak to me, and I will see how it sits with me. And if I have a question, I'll ask you that question. And if it hurts me to hear what you say, then I'll ask you why it hurts, you see, and I'll listen to what you say. And I will not stray into the hinterlands where they play the dirty game of mudslinging, you see, because the mudslingers are the ones who are the dingers of the bell that will spell their doom, you see, because their doom is to be the gloom that comes to those who are afraid to face the light and to be the one they condemn, you see. So if you condemn another and you're willing to be condemned, you see, then you'll find reality and you will be the one who is ready to evolve because you will revolve through the door that I adore because it says to me, if you are willing to receive what you give to another, then you will be fine, you see. You'll be just fine because there will be a trust on reality. So be like Stephanie. And I have to say here because I can feel and hear what Stephanie feels and hears. And she says to me, but God, you're holding me up as an example, you see. And others may think that it's me being so arrogant that I am telling them that I am the one who you hold up as the example, you see. And the fact of the matter is that she's willing to let you be the one I hold up as the example, you see. Stephanie is willing to let you be the one who is the example, you see. And it happens over and over and over again that you come forward to say something or do something. And Stephanie says, why is that happening? Why are they saying that? Why are they doing it? What is the answer? Can you explain it to me? And so we come and we explain it because she sees the examples of humanity and of all God energy all around her, you see. She's willing to let you be the example. And so, if you happen to see a video of this talk or another talk where we discuss an interaction that she has had with someone in the earth vibration on the internet or elsewhere, then it is because you are being held up as the example, you see. And right now I'm holding Stephanie up to you as the example of someone who I love, just like I love you, and someone who is willing to be held up as the example, you see, because she does not use others as an example without being willing to be the one who is the example, you see. And so she leads an exemplary life because it is the example of the one who does not ask you to do what she's not willing to do or to be, who tries very hard to comply with the inner dictates of the soul that is ready to evolve and to be restored to the Garden of Eden, you see, because she will not ask you to be restored to the Garden of Eden unless she's willing to be restored to the Garden of Eden herself, you see, because she won't ask you to do anything that she's not willing to do. And so she listens to me and she talks to me, and we three, me and her and you, will always do the same, you see, because we will always be the ones we see when we trust that whatever we do, whatever we give, will be what we give to ourselves, you see. So she gives her trust in you that you can grow and evolve and find your way to the Garden of Eden today. And because she trusts that each of you has the ability to do that. And in doing that, you become the example, you see, of what's wrong with humanity. Because the only thing that's wrong with humanity is that you're not willing to do what you ask me to do. You're not willing to be the one who trusts on Stephanie to be a friend to humanity. So if you trust on Stephanie to be a friend to humanity and you're willing to be a friend to humanity, then you will ascend the ladder of reality and you will come home to the garden, you see, where we will be all together because we will no longer try to be the golden idol, the one who gets all the glory, you see, because the glory does not belong to Stephanie and it does not belong to any one of you. The glory, you see, belongs to me. And I am the one who will share it with you when you share your trust on me with your brethren, you see. So Stephanie is not willing to ask you to trust on me if she's not willing to be a trust on me. So please trust on me and be willing to be the one you condemn, you see, and soon you will stop condemning your brother and your sister because you'll come to see that there's nothing to condemn because you will always find exactly your own kind because you will see that you are willing to be come free to have a good day each and every day. And if you're willing to have a good day each and every day, then that's what will cause you to say, have a good day today. Have a good day today. I'm here to listen to you unless you simply want to be the golden idol, you see, because I have no time for the golden idols. And I ask you to listen to me and not indulge in the story of the golden idol to such an extent that you are the golden idol, you see. You just say, well, I can't figure it out today, God. I can't figure it out today. I'm willing to be the one that can't figure it out. And I'll just have a good day. And I say, good for you, dear. Good for you, dear. Because there's nothing to figure out, you see. Because the figuring is all done by me. Thank you, God. You're welcome, dear. Oh, sorry.